So, what do you do if you're in the perfect relationship and you're both of you are really happy and it's been going on for a while and you start talking about a future and then one of them says to, I think we have to break up. It's going too good. What? It's going too good. I think we need to break up. That's a situation that was brought to me some time ago with a friend of mine who is studying energy awareness training. Hey, this is Glenn Ackerman with your video energy blast of how energy works in particular situations. Today, we're going to be talking about relationships and energy. Now, most of you know that I teach energy awareness training. What's that? It's the ability to understand life from an energetic perspective. Why is that so important? Because there's so many things in life that we don't understand, why things happen, and more importantly, what to do about them, especially in relationships, as we're going to be talking about today. What do you do when everything's going great? And because it's going great, your girl, your guy wants to break up with you. That's that's a mystery, right? Well, this is what energy awareness training is all about. And I'll just give you a little heads up on that before we talk about this fascinating and kind of perplexing issue. Energy awareness training was created to be able to create and find solutions to problems that previously we didn't have answers for. Um, I created energy awareness training here in the last 10 years, and my model was um, Nikolai Tesla. You might have heard of him, not the car guy, the guy that the car company's made for. And he said a long time ago, he's a genius scientist and inventor, and he knew how things really worked in life. So he said, if you really want to understand the mysteries of life and the answers to the questions that you don't know the answers to, then you'll start looking at things in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Okay, three things: energy, frequency, and vibration. You may have heard that. I heard that some years ago, but I didn't know what that meant. Energy, frequency, everything is an energy, a frequency, and a vibration. And then as I started developing my work in coaching, in healing, in training, both personal and corporate clients, I recognized that this whole world that we live in is a vast energy field. And the answers to the questions that we don't know lay in understanding how this energy works. So what I did was I developed Tesla's work, and I decided to go deeper, and I identify energy as having a power, a purpose, a direction, and it gives off information. And that's true about everything that we are experiencing in this world. Human beings are energies. Uh, Relationships are energies. Money's energies. The weather's energies. It's like a fish swimming in the ocean. When somebody says, "Hey, what do you think about water?" And the fish goes, "What's water? I don't know what water is." Because it's just naturally part of their environment. It isn't until you recognize that there's a force that, if you recognize it, can give you much better life, can answer questions that you don't know the answer to, and create solutions where you don't have solutions to the problems that you're facing yet. That's what we're talking about, energy. So in energy awareness, I call my work energy awareness training. And I train you to deal with the the challenges of life. And most of us don't realize that we are walking energetic beings. Every human being is an energetic being. We're made up of energy. You probably learned that in your science class. What you may not realize is that we are projecting energy everywhere we go based upon our energetic operating system, which means we're generating energy, whether it's good, bad, or ugly. We're generating it. Hopefully, it's good, right? But we also are receiving energy. We're also receiving energy from the people, places, and things that we experience. And the key factor that is so important if you're into personal development, self-development, if you want to have a better life, if you want to make more money, if you want to stay happy in your relationship is that energy impacts us all. And these energies that I'm talking about, when you recognize how they work, they open up a whole new world for you. So what I've done is I've discovered a hidden energy system that runs our lives. It's like a deeper reality that is responsible and that can answer the questions for why do things happen, right? Isn't that most of our why do things happen? Well, here's a clue. Everything in the physical world was created by an invisible source. So every physical thing we're dealing with was created by an invisible thought, feeling, motivation. So, for example, you and me, 9 months before uh, our parents had a great night, we didn't exist in a physical form. In an energetic form, we existed, but not in the physical. So, an act that took place, the thought of, hey, let's have a, let's have a fun night tonight, Saturday night, and one thing leads to another, and that act creates a physical being. The computer or the phone that you're listening to me on right now, that's a physical thing that was created by an invisible source. Meaning is one day somebody said, well, let's make a phone or let's make a computer. And it doesn't exist yet, but I'll get a pen and paper and we'll draw it out. We'll create it. We'll manufacture it, right? So from the thought became the action, and from the action created the physical thing. Now, why is this so important? It's because all of us are trying to have great lives, aren't we? We're all trying to be better. We're all trying to do better. We're all trying to stay happy, move forward in our careers, stay healthy, etc. And a lot of times there's blockages to that. There's things that you have, there's things that are not working your way, and there are things that are going the other direction. Now, if you know the solution to them, that's great. You can do something about it. If you don't know the solution to it, you got a problem or you got a blockage. And all of us in some area of our lives have some kind of challenge, some kind of issue, something that we're dealing with that we've tried and we've tried to overcome and we haven't been successful yet. Okay, so that's the point I'm making, is that there are things happening in our lives that we don't know the answer to. And these problems or these challenges that we're trying to overcome are bumming us out. They're lowering the quality of our lives. Whether you got a health challenge or you have a money challenge or you have a relationship challenge, all of these things is we're trying to overcome this. And I'm here to tell you that when you become energetically aware, when you recognize that there's a whole hidden world of energy that we were never taught, but if you understand how it works, you can find the solutions to the problems that you have. You can overcome limitations and you can have an advantage in whatever you're doing over people who don't. Exciting? You better believe it's exciting. And this is the work that I've been doing for many years. I coach and I train people to discover what I call their energetic operating system. See, you have what I call an energetic operating system, just like your computer. You're either got a Mac computer or you got a Windows computer, whatever it is. It has an operating system and it has software and it's programmed to do certain things and not programmed to do other things. So, if you ask it for something it knows what to do, it can do it. If you ask it to do something that it doesn't know what to do or that it's not programmed to do, it's not going to do it. It's very similar with us in our lives. Have you ever decided that you wanted to do something, maybe lose weight or work out, a workout program, or anything that takes some kind of effort? Have you ever decided that you want to do that? And the first week you're really gung ho to do it. it usually happens around January and shortly, right? New Year's resolutions, and you're all gung ho to do it, and you make some progress for a while, right? So that's identifying an energy. There's an energy, a motivation, a frequency inside you that wants to direct you to be better, to do better. Maybe you want to make more money. Maybe you want to start a business. Maybe you want to write a book, right? Maybe you want to get into a relationship. Whatever it is that you want to do, it's going to take some time, focus, and energy to do that. Now, you've all had the experience of starting things and getting off to a great start. But then what happens? Usually there's another force inside you that starts pulling you the other way. You want to go up, you want to go down. So, if it's about working out at the gym, you may have a couple of weeks or even a month where you're really hitting it. And then this other force is, do I really want to work out today? It's kind of cold outside, or I'd rather sit home and watch the game, or whatever it is. There's another force that's pulling you. So it's like there's a tug of war inside. And I know that you have a tug of war inside. You know how I know that? Because we all have a tug of war inside. We all have forces going one way, and we all have forces going another way. And that's why change is so hard. It's hard to change. You've tried it, we've all tried it. Now, the reason why it's so hard is because if you don't recognize, you think it's just your head, but there are forces that are here to help you, and their forces are here to block you or to oppose what it is you wanted to do. That's why when you make a goal to do something, you might do it, you might not do it. How many people have you heard say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to lose 20 pounds, or I'm going to, start working out, or I'm going to start a business, right? And oh, okay. And they maybe start a little bit about it, and then they get sidetracked. Well, how's that book coming along? Oh, well, I got to get back into it. Or how's that weight loss program going? Oh, yeah, I was going good, but now I got to get back into it. You see, there's opposing forces taking place. And that's what it means to be energetically aware. First of all, to know about how you work, what your operating system is inside, and then how to work with it so that you can create your maximum life, your maximum productivity, your maximum happiness, and take away all the blockages and all the sabotage and all the junk that's in the way of you getting that. Does that make sense? I hope so, because this is work that I've been doing that's changed thousands of lives once you become energetically aware. Now, today I want to talk to you about relationships and sabotage. So I had a friend of mine back a while back, and he said to me, Glenn, my girlfriend, uh, first of all, I said, how's it going with the girlfriend? They've been dating about a year, and they were really happy. She was happy. She thought she found her dream guy, and he was happy. Thought he found his dream girl. And, I thought, maybe they're going to become engaged in something. So one day she comes and says, I need to talk to you. And she says, what about? And he goes, I think we need to break up. He's like, what? What are you talking about? Break up? She says, no, I think we need to break up. And he said, why? He goes, listen to this, because things are going too well. Think, aren't they, isn't that the way it's supposed to go in a relationship? Isn't it supposed to be going well? Yeah, but she said, if it's going too well, could be something bad going to happen. So I'm going to get out of the, I think we should break up before that. Now, that's completely irrational. Where did that come from? Did she just make it up out of the clear blue sky? And how does he deal with it? So I said, well, what did you do about it? And he said, I sat down with her for 2 hours and told her, what she was thinking was crazy. And, we got a good thing going. And, why would we want to break up? And, let's keep it. And I said, and she said, and then what happened? And she says, well, she said, you're rationally light. You're rationally right about what you're saying, but I can't help the way I feel. I can't help the way I feel. Well, what do you do with that? She says, I just feel it's things are going too good, and I want to get out before things start going bad. And like all relationships, they go up and they go down, and there's challenges, there's good times, and there's challenges. But nobody would have a serious relationship or a continuing relationship if you thought that by things being good they're going to be bad. Would you agree with me? That's kind of a messed up way of thinking. Well, what does he do? He could send her to a shrink or to a counselor or something, and they tell her the same thing. But this is where energy awareness training comes in. And this is why in energy awareness you have solutions to things that most people don't have a solution to. So being on the verge of breaking up, uh, he didn't have a solution for it. He's trying to argue with her, and you can't argue about feelings. You feel what you feel. And they talked to people, and they went in for counseling. But she said, I feel the way I feel. So what I recognize, remember what I said in the beginning of this video, everything that's physical comes from non-physical. Every physical thing, the source of it is non-physical. So what's physical? He has a relationship with the girl. They're having a great time thinking about, getting married, having a future. That's the physical. And then this non-physical thing, this thought of, oh, it's too good, I want out, emerges. Now, that's not something that you can use what we were taught to do growing up, because what we were taught to do, think about things logically, use our five senses, figure it out, right? Figure it out. Well, there was no figuring out with her. It's like, that's the way I felt. There's nothing to figure out. I feel this way. And because I feel this way, I'm going to end this relationship. So there was no solution in the physical world. But energetically, I went back to her operating system. That's what I addressed. I didn't address her thought. I said, let's look at your operating system. You know, was there anybody in your life that felt the same way? Or where did you come up with that uh, observing in your life? And it turns out that her mother had been married multiple times. And right about the 2 year mark, she'd been married like 3 or 4 times. Right about the 2 year mark, there would be a divorce, there would be a breakup. So her mother had a time period for relationships, kind of like an internal alarm clock. And where did that come from? I don't know. I didn't work with the mother. But, but what she as a little girl observed, that mom gets married, everybody's happy. 2 years go by, the relationship goes bad, probably because of a pattern that mom or the husband had, or both of them had, divorce. Do it again. She meets another guy. I guess her mother was really pretty and attractive. So she attracted a lot of guys. They get married. Everybody's happy. Guy moves in. 2 year mark. Fighting. Breakups. You know, bad energy. Boom. So this happened to her like 3 or 4 times. So it's no wonder that she feels that way, because our energetic system is programmed by and large a lot by what we observe as children. What we observe, good, bad, or ugly, we observe it. We think that's part of the natural progression, which is why we take on the traits of our parents. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So what happens is that as children, and that's not the only place it comes from. It comes from a lot of other places, but one place is as children, we observe what adults do around us. The, and all we know is what we observe. So we observe it. We think, oh, I guess that's normal behavior. You know, I had, you know, one student of mine go, yeah, when I grew up, yelling and screaming was normal behavior. If I don't have a relationship that has a lot of screaming and yelling in it, I don't think it's a real relationship. Well, that might need to be tweaked a little bit, do you think? Anyway, back to the girl. So what I did as they became, he had her started studying with me, doing coaching and energy awareness training, is I had her become aware of her energetic operating system and had her be aware of, look, you got things inside you that are programming you that you're not aware of. You're not aware of the program's been put inside you or how it did because you're not energetically aware. But you do know the way you feel. So when you become energetically aware, and you can see, whoa, here's my behavior. I'm in a great relationship. I'm happy. We're talking about a future. And yet there's a feeling in me that says, get out because something bad's going to happen. That's irrational. And that came from somewhere in your energetic operating system. Now, it can come from your childhood, it can come from your ancestors, it can come from your parents, it can come from multi dimensions. I won't go into that too much, but we have a lot of stuff that came into our that comes into our energetic operating system, and that's why it's so important to be energetically aware, especially when we find ourselves doing behaviors we don't like, thinking thoughts that we don't like, getting into relationships or jobs that we don't like, or perennial health challenges. Whatever the issue is that you're dealing with and that you haven't been able to overcome, that's because of your energetic operating system and it has to be tweaked. So, what did I do with her? Well, as she started studying energy awareness training, I taught her how to recognize what those operating files are, and I showed her how to delete the files that don't work for her. So, for example, having a relationship, a successful relationship, and wanting to bail when everything's good will not work for her in the long run. So, after she got that, we neutralized that energy pattern and replaced it with an energy pattern that when everything's good, it can get better. Isn't that a better program? From everything's good, let's break up, to everything's good, it could get better. And how much better can it be? So thank God the relationship is saved and they're still together. But what do you have in your operating system that's taking you to a weird way or making you think things that are kind of you know not working for your best interests? We all have them. That's why I had tons of them. That's why I started learning and developing energy awareness training to be able to get that stuff out. Because if it doesn't get out, for example, the girl, his girlfriend, if she hadn't cleared that pattern with me and learned how to redirect the energy, she would have gone on. She'd already done that with about four other big relationships that she was in. Yep, going good. Time to go. Can you imagine the heartbreak she left behind from these guys? And she'd keep doing that over and over again, you know, probably forever, or unless that pattern got fixed. So this is an eye opener, you guys, and this is how energy works. I had one student come to me who was a psychologist. No, now I'm not a psychologist and or do any kind of medical stuff. I work strictly with energy. But she came to me asking me, saying, "Hey, I got this pattern, and maybe you can help me with. No one else has been able to help me with it." I said, "Well, what is it?" And she said, "I attract dysfunctional relationships. All of my romantic relationships have turned out to be disasters." I said, "Well, how many have you had?" I figured she was in her mid 50s, right? I said, "Well, how many have you had?" She said, "I've had about 11 or 12 over the years." 11 or 12? Holy, and every one of them is a disaster? Turns out the same way. I said, you've got something going on in your energy operating system. There's something in there that's messed up. It's like a virus. That's what it is. It's like a virus in your computer system. And that virus's job, what's the job of a virus? To mess things up, to get in the way, to drive you nuts, right? I said, you got a virus, learn energy awareness training and get that stuff out and start learning how to operate your life energetically. You got health challenges, learn energy awareness training, clear that stuff up. You got money, clear it up. And that's the gist of my work. And that's what I love helping people do is clearing up the issues because we all do. We all come into this world with certain issues and challenges. And those challenges, if they're not dealt with, will mess up our lives. And I know for myself, I had stuff that I was trying to overcome. And it took me years because I didn't know how to do it. I went to this thing, went to that thing, went to this person. I mean, you name it, I tried it to get over some negative thoughts, negative emotions, and bad habits and stuff. And thank God, finding energy awareness training, I was able to eliminate all the bad stuff and create all the good stuff that I wanted. And you can too. So during this season, I really encourage you guys to, think about what we talked about here and what's your operating system? What are your issues that you haven't dealt with or that you're trying to deal with and you just keep, you know, batting your head against the wall and not getting the results? If that's the case, then investigate energy awareness training because this is the thing that can turn your life around. I have a website, energyawarennesstraining.com. You can go to. I'm on Facebook Messenger and Instagram, and I have a YouTube channel. So if you like this video, I have a lot more on my channel that you can learn from. If you got any questions, go ahead and messenger me. I'm happy to help you. I teach privately, one-on-one. I do group classes, and I have video classes. And I have students all around the world who are changing their lives with energy awareness training. So I hope you got something out of this and hope you learned something. And if you got some issues, more importantly, I hope that you do something about it, right? Because remember, nothing changes until energy moves, okay? And this is the time to make big changes because we've got a new year coming up and a whole new energetic phase, which I'm going to do another video on of what's coming up here. So check out your operating systems and anything that's not worked for you, make a note to clear it up. All right, this is Glenn Ackerman, Energy Awareness Training. Have a fabulous day, you guys. Bye for now.